This is BBC Newsline. I'm Tara Mills. Tonight's headlines. The First Minister says she understands the anger over a proposed £14,000 pay rise for politicians.
People are feeling the pinch right now, so I think it's understandable in terms of how people would feel about it.
Look, it is an independent body. This is their recommendation. It's now out to consultation, so we'll take a look at that in detail.
The suffering of victims and survivors of historical institutional child abuse is acknowledged at Stormont. It could be another 7 years before glider buses are dropping off in North and South Belfast. Hundreds of jobs for the North West as an engineering firm expands. Also on the programme, the organisers of a K-pop tribute concert at a Belfast arena defend the show after an online backlash.
My daughter genuinely had a good time, but we were all just waiting on the K-pop to come on.
I actually turned around to one of the boys beside me and goes, am I even in the right place here? I goes, am I in the wrong... Is there another SSE arena here?
It's one of the most eagerly anticipated sporting events of the year, with all the big match build-up to England against Ireland in Rugby's Six Nations Championship.
And it's been another unsettled day with splashes of rain here and there, and the umbrellas look set to come in handy this weekend. I'll have the details shortly.
Hello and welcome to Friday's programme. The First Minister, Michelle O'Neill, says she understands the anger over a proposed pay rise for MLAs. A review of Stormont salaries has recommended an increase to bring them into line with Scotland and Wales, but some have argued the institutions need to prove their worth to the public first. MLAs currently earn £53,000 a year. It's been suggested they get a pay rise of £14,000 a year, taking them to £67,200. And that increase amounts to almost 27%. Here's our political reporter, Brendan Hughes.
From hospitals to schools, potholes to policing, pressures on our public services are clear to see. And Stormont ministers have been clear, funds are limited.
Our public services are on their knees here.
Northern Ireland has been underfunded.
There is a long-standing and ongoing funding challenge.
Huge mismatch between demand and capacity.
So plans to give MLAs a £14,000 pay rise are prompting questions.
One rule for them and another rule for everywhere else. I think there's a lot of anger out there. You see that expressed by the public at the present point in time, this sense of an injustice being done here. Not so much in what the MLAs are going to get, but rather in how little is being given out to public services.
What are they doing to deserve that increase? Because they need to be better. You know, we depend on the politicians of Northern Ireland to make life better for the people of Northern Ireland. And I don't see that happening at the minute.
But the chair of Stormont's old remuneration panel supports the proposals.
When you evaluate the job as it's supposed to be done, that's what the figure you come out with, particularly in comparison with the other legislatures in these islands. And it would still be below the Welsh one. Where we have difficulty is, of course, in the performance, and that's a matter for the voters.
Thank you for coming in to join us tonight. Let's just start by...
All five main parties last month, but last night, on this issue, none were available.
But I would encourage people, Mark, to have their say, to oppose this, to respond to the very, very short consultation period, I have to say, but to make their views heard. But it's quite telling that no other party is here tonight. I'm very happy, of course, to be here, but I think that speaks volumes.
Today, the First and Deputy First Ministers broke the silence.
It's just been published in the last 24 hours. Obviously, we need to work our way through the detail of it, but absolutely acknowledge that there's a cost of living crisis. People are struggling, people are feeling the pinch right now, so I think it's understandable in terms of how people would feel.
It is an independent body. This is their recommendation. It's now out to consultation, so we'll take a look at that in detail, and I've no doubt we'll come back to this issue after the consultation is concluded.
MLAs have 2 weeks to have their say before the independent board makes a final decision. But bar an almighty U-turn, the only way their wages are going is up. Brendan Hughes, BBC Newsline, Stormont.
A new memorial at Stormont to victims and survivors of institutional child abuse has been hailed as a victory by campaigners. The large stone plaque has been installed in the entrance hall as a permanent reminder of the suffering of thousands of children in residential care here. Catherine Morrison reports.
It was like saying that your beliefs, this is true, this actually happened to you.
For Leo Quinn and other victims and survivors of institutional abuse, this was a significant day. The unveiling of a permanent memorial in the seat of government, dedicated to the many children who suffered abuse in residential care.
Children, and many of you are here now today as parents and as grandparents with your own children. You were all clearly failed by the state and by others who had a duty to protect you. The memorial plaque will stand as a permanent recognition of all of those failures.
We are so very conscious that we cannot right the wrong that was done to you, but we do have a duty to do all that we can to work with you to support you.
The plaque was first put forward in 2017 by Sir Anthony Hart following the historical institutional abuse inquiry. It's the last of his recommendations to be implemented. For campaigners, this was the end of a long battle.
This is the final piece in the jigsaw. Happy to be here for the first time, I can say happy, because it wasn't too many happy times that we came running here, meetings upon meetings, begging and pleading for government figures to do what they should have done many, many years ago.
I lost my own brother and sister in the process of all of this, and there are others with us, that have lost family members as well. And I think it'll be a special thought for them, that we managed to achieve what we set out to achieve.
It's a step forward, it's a chapter of this book, but it's not the end.
Leo Quinn spent much of the 1980s in children's homes and other institutions, separated from his siblings.
I haven't seen my younger brother in years. I really miss him, and I want to develop a relationship with him. I lost my older brother, and I just want I lost a lot through this year. Throughout all the abuse, whether it be emotional, physical, mental, or even sexual abuse that I endured, the greatest abuse was separating me and my siblings from each other.
These are wrongs which can never be righted, but are now publicly acknowledged. Catherine Morrison, BBC Newsline, Stormont.
Now, it could be another 7 years, at least, before glider buses in Belfast are running in the north and south of the city. The glider has been operating between east and west since 2018, but the wait for the buses to run from Cairns Hill in the south of the city, through the city centre and up the Antrim Road, well, that wait goes on. Our community correspondent, Mark Simpson, has the story.
When the glider first arrived in Belfast, it was assumed it would soon cover all four corners of the city, not just the east and the west. But the north and the south are still waiting, even though the plans are ready. The project is called BRT2, Belfast Rapid Transit Phase 2. In a written Assembly answer this week, the Infrastructure Minister, Liz Kimmins, outlined the timescale for delivery. She said it is currently expected that, subject to securing the additional funding required, the BRT2 project could be completed by 2033. So how much additional funding is needed? The current estimate is £100 million.
It's frankly hugely disappointing that this project has simply been put not just on the long finger but to the end of the arm, and it looks like it's not going to be delivered until the middle of the next decade. If even then, I think it's a sign of real failure, and I think the executive could have and should have prioritised it.
People in North Belfast are asking why they're not getting the same services as those who are in East Belfast and West, and that's a question that I'll continue to push.
I think, with respect,
How the Sinn Féin minister has handled the issue was today defended.
Well, there was delay that was inherited by the minister. That's not of the minister's making. That predates this mandate. I think what people want to be focused on is delivery. And I can say with authority, that's what I'm about, that's what the minister is about. And this is about delivering for people right across Belfast.
Although it'll take at least 7 years to complete the project, some new buses could be running by 2030. As the long wait continues for the new glider services to begin, two things are required: patience and money. Mark Simpson, BBC Newsline in North Belfast.
Now, one of the North West's largest employers says it plans to create hundreds of new jobs due to the rapid worldwide growth in artificial intelligence technology. Vertiv, which employs 2,000 staff in Londonderry and Donegal, is planning a recruitment day next week to meet its growing demand. The local Chamber of Commerce says it's a huge boost for the region. Here's our North West reporter, Kieran Turish.
Vertiv says it's been able to invest several £1 million and expand its workforce in the North West due to the increasing demand in its sector. It makes electrical products and power distribution systems, which are used in a number of different types of businesses and healthcare environments. There's also been a huge growth in artificial intelligence technology in recent years.
We're going for huge demand here. You know, it's pretty exciting times. We're seeing the market changing with the AI data centre boom. We also operate in that market alongside also the commercial and industrial, but our products, both switchgear and busbar, we're seeing exponential growth, and with that there comes huge growth and opportunities. So we're looking for several hundred people here across the Northwest.
Vertiv has been in operation on the island of Ireland since 2021, when it bought the existing business here from Derry businessman Philip O'Doherty. It currently employs around 2,000 people, but predicts future growth in employment, a move welcomed by Londonderry Chamber of Commerce.
Well, we're obviously delighted. It's great news, it's very encouraging, and it underscores how credible we are to multinationals for growth in the AI sector and our skills. And I think it underscores the great work that's being done at the university expansion, the great work that's been done at the Northwest College. Vertiv isn't going to do this without having confidence in a pipeline of highly skilled knowledge workers to follow through with. So I think it behooves us to continue that work, to continue the investment and continue to grow on this.
6 out of 10 of the new jobs for electricians, mechanical fitters and general operators will be based in the city, and the rest in County Donegal. The company says the investment represents a major vote of confidence in the skilled workforce and business environment in the North West region. Recruitment for the new jobs is now underway. Kieran Turish, BBC Newsline, Burnfoot, County Donegal.
These nurses form a new support service for patients diagnosed with a rare, incurable cancer. Stephanie Todd and Carol Johnson offer support from diagnosis through to treatment, and one patient has described them as invaluable. Our health reporter Aileen Moyna has the story.
Life is built around treatments, assessments, hospital appointments, CT scans.
Patrick Malone was diagnosed with mesothelioma in May 2024. There's no cure for his cancer, which he assumes he got after working in an old government building, which was found to have asbestos. While his diagnosis has been hard to take, a new support service has helped him.
Hi Patrick, how are you? Come and have a seat for me.
I think it was the day that I got diagnosed. I was up in the hospital and I had an interview with Stephanie, the nurse. Started talking about the treatment you're going to get and possible side effects. And, while you're going through this sort of journey, we are here to help, which was kind of a big plus point at the time when there really wasn't any plus points.
More than 60 referrals have been made to the mesothelioma clinical nurse specialists for people like Patrick from across the region.
I suppose historically, mesothelioma patients have potentially fallen into other specialties or have had a long pathway to diagnosis, and then just the sheer impact of the diagnosis itself. It needs that dedicated service and it needs that dedicated point of contact.
But this service, which brings Northern Ireland in line with care offered across the rest of the UK, may not have happened without the work of the Rogers family from Newry. They campaigned for more awareness and support for those with mesothelioma after losing their father Tony 4 years ago.
We are very proud of what we have achieved, and at the stage that we are at, it is something that we could only have dreamt of 4 years ago whenever Daddy passed away. We know that he'd be very proud of what we have achieved as well.
And it's made a difference to Patrick, as well as the immunotherapy treatment, which has reduced and stabilised his cancer. Eileen Moyna, BBC Newsline, Belfast.
Now, a K-pop concert in Belfast has been described as horrendous and disappointing by a number of parents who went along to the show with their children last night. The promoters behind the production said it was of arena standard. Claire Graham has more.
K-pop found new fans across the globe after the release of this film last year. So unsurprisingly, this concert showcasing the K-pop genre drew in the crowds. But it's been criticised for sound problems, staging, sexual innuendos, and a long wait to hear covers of these formidable characters. Caroline McGrath took her daughter Daisy with friends.
My daughter genuinely had a good time, but we were all just waiting on the K-pop to come on with the hair and the wigs, and the kids were crying. So when they come on the stage, I just kind of went, okay. I was still thinking this was another tribute and they were late. I didn't realise this was it. They come out and everything's a wee bit raunchy. Daisy said they said the F word as well, yeah. So there was a few negatives. Overall, we had a good experience because my daughter's first concert, the whole theatrics, everything.
There were some fans who left early. Rory O'Connor said his daughter was asking to go.
Worst thing I've ever actually experienced in my life, and I've been to a lot of concerts, a lot of shows, a lot of tributes, a lot of things and I actually turned around to one of the boys beside me and goes, am I even in the right place here? I goes, am I in the wrong, is there another SSE arena here? I went home with a headache, man. My head was killing me when I went home. It was just devastating. It just wasn't what I was expecting with the amount of money I was spending, you know.
In a statement, Aitken Promotions said, "We understand that some attendees felt the show did not meet the experience they had expected. They said, we take all customer feedback seriously." The K-pop Forever show promised to take audiences on journeys they would never forget. And today, the promoter has said that they are satisfied this was to an arena standard. They said that the event paid tribute to the wider K-pop genre, and it'll be back at the SSE Arena on Monday. For many, it was their first concert. Certainly a night to remember. Claire Graham, BBC Newsline, Belfast.
Well, it could be a big weekend for the cast and crew of local film Nostalgia. It's shortlisted for a BAFTA award, the Oscars of the British film industry. Our arts correspondent, Robbie Meredith, has more.
You can't always control what you create.
Northern Ireland, it's quite cool these days, I hear. A bit like Berlin.
Is it? In Nostalgia, Aidan Gillen plays a faded 80s pop star invited back to present-day Northern Ireland for a gig, not realising one of his songs became an anthem for paramilitaries.
Who are they?
It's based on a story by local writer Wendy Erskine.
They want him to come over and sing a song, a particular song, at their centenary, and that's what he does. So he heads off, he heads over, really just so buoyed up that these people know who he is and remember him. But it has quite serious consequences for him.
For director Catherine Ferguson, the story reflects also some of the attitudes to Northern Ireland across the Irish Sea.
I left Belfast over 20 years ago, so I've been living in England, and I suppose I was very interested in looking back and then thinking about what the view of the North is for an Englishman today, and it was really trying to, I think it was that exploration that was most interesting to me.
The music for Nostalgia was written by Bastile's Dan Smith. He captured the 80s sound. But it's a reminder that when songs are out there, you never know who's listening.
What I was thinking about was the whole idea that if you produce music or if you produce an art form of any type whatsoever, you don't really have the control over who wants to use it for whatever purposes. And in fact, the people that do use it may well have ideologies or views very different to your own.
They'll find out if they've won when the BAFTA Awards take place in London this Sunday evening. Robbie Meredith, BBC Newsline.
Good luck to them now. No doubt about the biggest sporting event of this weekend. Stephen's here. Can Ireland beat England in the Six Nations?
Good question, Tara. It's hard to know the correct answer. It's going to be very, very tight. But yes, Ireland can beat England. But Andy Farrell's side has not been that impressive in the Championship so far, or in the autumn internationals, it has to be said, either. And England at home will be very dangerous and looking for a response after defeat to Scotland last weekend. Ireland lost narrowly on their last visit to Twickenham, the time before they claimed a bonus point win. It's certainly an intriguing, crucial fixture for both nations at the midpoint of the tournament. Gavin Andrews is in London.
In many ways, it's been a so-so season for these Irish players. They've lost to New Zealand, South Africa and France and haven't quite clicked. But a chance to beat England in their own backyard is a massive opportunity.
A fast start is going to be important, especially away from home. Trying to get a little bit of scoreboard pressure, get our fans, hopefully there'll be quite a few of them over, into it, but also take that away from England. So there's an eagerness to hunt them down, to get after them, to show what we're about. We feel there's an ability and plenty of potential within the team, and we want to show as much of that tomorrow as possible.
As for England, a few fresh faces get their chance as the squad looks to respond after a shock defeat last weekend in Scotland.
I think I felt confident in the fact that we're straight into another game. Yeah, fortunately enough, this would kind of be a week typically where there'd be a fallow week and you'd have that long break, but being able to immediately get back into training and preparation for another big game is kind of not distracted, but means we're able to move on from it quite quickly. It doesn't instantly change us as a team, it doesn't instantly turn you into a bad team, so we know there's performances within us and hopefully we can just deliver one of those tomorrow.
In recent years, it's been a healthy rivalry between these sides, from Ireland's Grand Slam win in 2018 to England's last gasp victory in 2024. Twickenham tends to deliver, and for some, the memories go way back.
My auntie used to live over in London, and we took the exotic trip over to London for our holidays one year. And we went to Madame Tussauds of all places. We also went to Twickenham Stadium. We got a little a tour of it. So I had pictures of Twickenham. I remember just being flabbergasted with the size of this yoke. It would have been fresh enough stadium back then, I think. Yeah, looking up in it. And like so many of the ones are in the Six Nations where it's England, Twickenham, it's a big game, you know. Wales and Millennium, big game. It just has that thing about it, you know.
This arena is a special place. England have won their last 9 games here. Ireland have won 4 of the last 5 meetings in the Six Nations. Something has to give in 2026. Gavin Andrews, BBC Newsline, London.
2:10 kick-off commentary on BBC Sounds. Now, Rory McIlroy was the overnight clubhouse leader at the Genesis Invitational Tournament in Los Angeles. He shot a superb rain-interrupted round of 66 to lie 5 under par. Rory had a great start with 3 birdies in the first 4 holes of his first round and said he felt comfortable despite the testing weather conditions.
I've definitely got more comfortable playing in conditions like this over the past few years as I've gotten more comfortable in controlling my ball flight, taking a lot more club, hitting the ball low, and I've started to just really enjoy this style of golf. You know, if you had asked me 10 years ago, I didn't enjoy these conditions, but it's been a shift in a mindset and maybe just a continuation of trying to build upon the skill set that I have, and then when it does get to conditions like this, I'm a lot more prepared, and I wouldn't say I enjoy them, but I can certainly handle them better.
Those are the only conditions that people have been playing golf in here recently, I have to say. Now, there may be no athletes from Northern Ireland at the Winter Olympics in Italy this year, but Team Ireland does have 4 representatives. And one of those, freestyle skier Ben Lynch, was the surprise qualifier for tonight's final of the...
I'm rushing around trying to find out how to get a ticket for the final. I didn't get a ticket for the final, but I'll be there.
Dublin, he's born in Dublin, and then we moved to Vancouver in Canada. So he's been living in Canada.
We'll do our jump over the fence. It's in the family.
Yeah, no tickets because they didn't think he'd make it that far. Anyway, local football, Irish Premiership leaders Larne are in action tonight at home to Carrick Rangers, while Coleraine host Ballymena United. And on Saturday night, 2 more title challengers go head-to-head. The big 2 rivals, David Healy's Linfield and Glentoran, meet at Windsor Park. That's a game you can see live on the BBC iPlayer and BBC Sport website from 6 o'clock. Both teams need all 3 points to maintain interest in the title hunt.
Big day at Windsor Park, it always is. 6 o'clock kickoff, so maybe a bit more of a crowd. But no, listen, we'll wait and see. And Linfield are on a really good run at the minute. David's got them playing some really good football. You know, it's 2 teams getting into a big 2 derby and really good fun.
We lost in Boxing Day at Windsor, so it's an opportunity for us to hopefully make the wrongs right. It's important that we get our preparation done, and we know what's going to happen Saturday. It's probably going to be chaos for a little bit of carnage. It'll be a good atmosphere, a good crowd, and we look forward to it.
Yeah, it should be an exciting game. Now in Gaelic football, there's an all-Ulster Division 1 clash this Sunday. Table-topping Donegal, unbeaten after 3 games, visit the Athletic Grounds to take on Armagh. The Donegal manager has admitted his thoughts aren't entirely on this competition, but on the defence of their Ulster Championship title.
Yeah, listen, our objectives at the start of the league are exactly the same now. You know, we're trying to develop a wee bit of depth in the squad, give younger lads an opportunity, and we're getting ready for championship. You know, we're conscious that we're looking at Downs results as well, and they're winning every week as well. And you know, they had a brilliant campaign at the end of the championship last year. So yeah, listen, that's what we're using these games for, is to put ourselves in the right spot to be ready for the first round of the championship, and hopefully we can do that.
2 sporting events taking place tonight. The Belfast Giants have an important game. The Elite League leaders are away to their nearest challengers, 2nd place Cardiff Devils. And in snooker, Mark Allen is just getting underway against Mark Selby in the quarterfinals of Snooker's Players' Championship. Tara, that might just be my viewing for tonight.
That's you sorted, Stephen. Ballycastle looking lovely despite the grey skies. Barra, how is the weekend looking?
Grey skies today, but 12 degrees, 5 degrees above average today, and those higher than normal temperatures continue this weekend, but the umbrellas will once again come in handy. We have had showers today, we still have showers this evening, dry spell for a time, then some patchy rain coming in from the west through the early hours of Saturday morning. Most of that should have cleared though by breakfast time. Lots of cloud tonight, southwesterly winds, no frost, 7 or 8 degrees. A dry start to the day tomorrow, but it will be a brief dry period to get out and about first thing. Otherwise, more unsettled weather continues later on in the morning. It will begin to cloud over. There will be some patchy rain coming in, and as it makes its way eastward, some of that could be heavy. There could even be some torrential downpours and maybe some thunder and lightning. A unsettled picture right across the island if you are travelling around. Southwesterly winds quite brisk. Bit of a dry spell before we see this next area of patchy rain coming in from the west. Highs tomorrow though could reach around 13 degrees, so close to 6 degrees above normal for the time of year. Some patchy rain into tomorrow evening as well, and then eventually for a time tomorrow night it will turn drier with clear spells, temperatures dropping into the low single figures. But as cloud gathers tomorrow night, they will recover a little bit, and it will turn, you guessed it, more unsettled into the first part of Sunday. Now, Sunday is not likely to be quite as wet as Saturday, but it's not going to be completely dry. This area of low pressure continues to bring in westerly winds, and those winds will be driving in a scattering of showers, but it could be a dry start with some early sunshine and sunny spells lasting on and off through the day. But keep an eye out for a few showers, which could be on the sharp side too, bringing more in the way of cloud towards the end of the day. Despite that, the temperatures stay above average at 10 or 11 Celsius. Quick look ahead towards next week. Low pressure continues to dominate. No big change in the forecast. It stays mild for the time of year, but it stays unsettled. Rain and scattered showers never too far away.
Just pretending I can't hear you, Barra. That's it for now. Our late news is at 10:30 from everyone on the team. Thanks for watching the programme this week. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.